So, setup of Google Ads. Okay, so there's 3 ways you can set up a Google AdWords account. You can do it by PMAX, maximum conversions, or maximum clicks. And we're going to use maximum clicks because it gives us the ability to control more elements. If you're using a PMAX or a maximum conversion, you are allowing Google to make bidding, identify opportunities and bid on your behalf. So this is not what we want initially. This is the setup stage. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a quick overview of the account and how to set this up. So you set it up as simple as possible, so that you can actually, you or one of your maybe employees can actually run this on your behalf. But the most important thing is you need to understand what is happening. It's a bit like you need to be able to read your accounts, but you don't need to be an accountant. You just need to look at it to know what is happening. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up some campaigns. So you'll notice on the left hand side here I've set up 2 campaigns. One is keyword strategy and the other one is keyword research tool. So next thing we're going to do is, if you go down one, it says add groups. You can also click on the actual group itself, and this will give you what the ad group is. So I've called it exactly the same, just to keep things as simple as possible. So in the campaign level, this is where you actually set your overall daily budget. So this is how much you want to spend in any single one day. So I'd recommend, generally speaking, if you're starting from scratch, I would set this at just £1, €1, $1 US, and spend no more than £30, euros in one single month. And I would do that for the first 3 months, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to identify keywords that are going to be working for us at a price the business can afford. Once we identify those keywords, so let's say we start with 1,000 keywords, we build up and we've only got maybe 50 keywords that are actually driving the right traffic at a price the business can afford. And this is the important bit, at a price the business can afford. There is no point in just putting a load of money in there and then hoping for the best that it's going to work. You have to go through this process. So we're going to set our daily budget. In this case, I'm in the UK, so I'm just going to talk about pounds from now on, but you would refer to euros or dollars or whatever currency we're talking about. So we're going to set our budget to £1 a day. And then what we're going to do is I'm just going to give you a quick overview of how the system actually works. So under the campaign level is where you set your daily budget. We've also got a load of settings when we first set up our campaign. Okay, so if I go over to campaign settings, it's worth, and what I'll do is I'll just take a screenshot of this so that you can actually start to see how this works. I'm going to put that into the lesson plan so you can see that. So under each one of these we've got different settings. So you can see the campaign setting, you can change the name here. Next one we want this marketing objectives to be website traffic. Okay, so you can get leads, you can get sales. I usually do web traffic because I want traffic more than anything else at this stage. I want to understand what keywords are working. You can see the campaign is either on or off. In this case, we're on. We've then got, here we've got search network or search network and display network. So this is the Google network of websites, and these are people who are doing what's called AdSense. Okay, just refresh my page. There's a problem on that. That's the beauty of doing this live. Let's go back to our campaign settings. Next thing we need to do is we need locations. So obviously we need to put in our location. In this case, I've done 15 miles radius of the Aylesbury Waterside Theatre. But if you click on the advanced search here, what you can do is you can say a certain radius of wherever you live. So all you do at the top left hand side there, you've got location, you've got radius. So here I could put in, for example, I might put in radius and then how many miles. So I've got 20 miles of London. Yeah, and then we'll just put in London. And so when we actually plough out, that's interesting. That has not worked for some reason. So let's say Oxford. 20 miles of Oxford. Can you see how it's put this circle in? So you can target the area that you actually want to target. Okay, so you just save that. The other thing you can do is start to go to different countries, territories, and obviously I'm based in the UK, so you can see the UK button is flashing there. So I can just do the whole of the UK if I wanted to. In locations, there's a sneaky setting in here, and the recommended is present or interested. So people in and regularly in, and this is the bit, who show an interest. Well, you can show an interest from anywhere in the world. Yeah. So what you need to do is click the second option, which is people in or regularly in your included locations. You've then got your languages, and you can set your budget here. So let's just continue unsaved. So in the budget, you get different types. So obviously when we've selected a click at the start, yeah, what we've got here is we can just put in our overall daily budget, which will show at the top of the page as I showed you before. Yeah, and then we've got our bidding budget. So here we can change the strategy. So what I tend to do initially is I would go to a clicks on the bidding and then set a maximum cost per click. So we're obviously doing £1 a day, and what I'm going to do is in here I'm just going to put in £1 as well. Therefore, it's only likely that if the cost per click was £1, obviously I'm doing £1, so therefore I would only spend and have 1 click per day. But that's not the point. The point of this exercise is at this stage not to get clicks. The point of the exercise at this stage is to identify the right keywords. Yeah, we're going to talk about increasing the budgets later on. So if we just have a look at campaign level, okay, there's certain things that I'm just going to quickly explain on here. So obviously you can see the budgets, we can see the status, which means it's on or off, so it's eligible. Yeah, so Google will check all your adverts and everything and decide whether that is in line with their best practice and rules. So the next thing we need to look at is the campaign type, and you can see the campaign type I use is a search at this point. So remember, as we go on, we can actually split this up further down the road and be more refined, if you like. So this is just the setup stage. So we've got clicks. So clicks is obviously when somebody clicks on your website. We've got an impression. So this is when somebody actually sees your advert. And if somebody sees your advert and then they click it, this is what gives you this CTR, this click-through rate. Okay, and when you put your mouse over it, it'll tell you what these things do anyway. Yeah, and what we're looking for is to get this click-through rate up as high as possible. So Google considers 1% to be good. Yeah, so at the moment we're running at 3.19 on this particular campaign. The average cost per click, yeah, CPC, is 71p. So every time somebody clicks on my advert, on average I'm paying 71p. And over this period, I've actually spent £186.26p. And the maximum conversion is actually, this should be saying maximum clicks, because obviously I've moved on from that stage. So we could actually go back into the settings and change that if you wanted to. This will then give you the conversion traffic. If you don't see a lot of this stuff in your reporting, what you can do is there's lots of options at the top here. So we can get rid of that. But here, if we go to reports, we've got lots of reports. And if you go to columns, you can modify the columns that you see. So if we look here, all you do is just click on the ones you want. And then they will obviously apply, yeah, and then they will appear in this line across the top here. So generally speaking, you would be setting up, and it's important, it's very, very important, as per the last email, where you must have your Google Ads account set up so that you can connect up your marketing emails, your paid advertising, your search console, your Google search console. All these things must be aligned. You can't have two separate accounts because you can't then connect those accounts. Anyway, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to go down to the ad group level. So this is where, when we're doing our keyword research, it was very, very important to select what was at campaign level and what was at ad group level. So if you can't remember how to do that, you need to go back and look at the keyword research. Next thing we need to do is, if we click on the ads, yeah, this is where we would put in our keywords. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to add your keywords.